Morning, everyone. Thank you for having me this morning. I represent African Group Lubricants, and we'll be chatting about our supply chain visibility. So just who is the ENX Group? ENX Group is an industrial group that's listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It was initially born out of Imperial. We were part of Imperial back in 2008, where we listed as Equestra, and then we were bought out in about 2016 as ENX Group. We service South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. We have clients that range from heavy industrial to mining and construction companies, retailers, telecommunication companies as well. So if you look at the structure on the right, we've broken up into the equipment business, the petrochemical business, and the fleet business. Our UA business is responsible for assemblies of generators, and then West Africa Group and AG Lubricants is responsible for our petrochemical cluster, and then Equestra Fleet Management is our fleet business. So that business is what you call, we lease vehicles to companies. Companies would come and tell us that they either want us to look after their traffic fines, or look after their fuel management, or look after the entire fleet within their operations. But today we'll be focusing on AG Lubricants. AG Lubricants is one of the largest marketers and distributions of lubricants in South Africa. So the principals that we blend on behalf of is ExxonMobil, Quaker Houghton, Centlube, and Ellipse Magnetics. So those are our blenders basically that we blend for, and we will take it to market for them. So we've got two warehouse facilities, one in KZN and the other one is in Western Cape, and our actual blending facility, or the warehouse facility, is up in Johannesburg, in Boksburg, where we blend and we would distribute out of Gauteng to our customers. Just some of the pictures here from our plant operations is our laboratory, whereby we test the lubricants that we go out to market with. So it's important that we ensure that the product that we're delivering to our end customer, obviously this is not taste, this is for your machinery. So we have to ensure that the customer gets the optimal use out of the lubricant that we're providing them with. These are just some of the production facilities, the tanks, the bulk tanks that we've got, that we store some of the raw materials into, and that's where we take it, and then we take out from there into blending. These are all the tanks that we've got outside the yard. So when we get deliveries, we blend it in. I mean, we take the raw product and put it into the bottom left-hand side, as you can see there. The top left is where we pull raw materials out of through those pipes. So from a Syspro overview perspective, we implemented Syspro in 2017. We moved away from Pastel, and we wanted to look at more of an integrated ERP, being Syspro, because we realized the business was expanding at that time and it needed a holistic approach when it comes to the manufacturing component of our business. You know, we had minimal use because Excel still is a trusted source in our business. You know, and as we get we get the trusted users to start utilizing the system, we start moving away from that Excel base to more of the using the data within the system. At the time, we had no IT resources. We were reliant on a partner. I think we've got an increase in management support, whereby there was a change of management, and management wants us to drive and leverage the use of the system. We started to build an IT team to support the business going forward. The Syspro modules that we make use of for now is the financials, MRP and forecasting, bill of materials, lot traceability, and inventory traceability. But we're planning to expand in the next 2-3 years, expand the range of modules that we do use from Syspro. You know, Brandon and I have had a good relationship in discussing, you know, where can we optimize and how could we use the technology that we have better in the business to get better insights. Some of the benefits of why we chose Syspro was the efficiency, local solution. Having the privilege of working in IT for 22 odd years and having a diverse group of companies that use a diverse range of ERP products. Some of our other bigger business units use other products that are overseas or globally based. And you can see a massive difference from local support to overseas support, right? And that's where we enjoy the relationship with Syspro. They're agile enough to take on our requests. If I phone Brandon tomorrow, he's able to assist me within the week to get out something or to schedule something or to put a meeting forward. The ability to add modules is very key for us. And like I said, that's part of our strategy going forward. And that's what we like about Syspro. Now, key decision was the manufacturing and distribution of our product into markets. So where are we now at this moment? So we, I think, our previous guest speaker said, about the business intelligence and having better insights into the business. Organizations are wanting more from the data for fact-based decision-making, understanding the data, understanding the cost complexities, and what we had was, we had some good products, BI products in the organization, but that required you starting off from a blank canvas and building a report that could take you up to 4 weeks to 8 weeks to build, whereas ZAP gave us out-of-the-box functionality with 80% of the report built and 20% that we needed to build on. So that the time was much faster to produce a report that can go to business was within a week that we could get a report to business. So 12 months ago, we moved off of our current platform to SAP Cloud. We've migrated all the reports, etc. We actually rebuilt everything again from start. It allowed us to relook at where we were in terms of our reporting, and then build accordingly. There's a massive push from business now because we showed in the first set of reporting is to get more insights into the respective areas, and that's why we pushed on now for phase 2, and we're busy gathering the user requirements and chatting to ZAP for how we're going to plan to implement our second phase of our ZAP business intelligence reporting. Our Syspro 8 upgrade, we've had some challenges over the last year, just from a business perspective, business priorities change, etc. But we put a peg in the ground and said we need to get this done and completed. We're moving from version A7 to 8. We've loaded or implemented that on our test environment. The IT team is busy testing. We're ensuring that all interfaces are working. Then we're going to do user testing, and then we're going to go live by mid-November 2022. We're finalizing our warehouse management solution we did a warehouse management solution by Trans-Solution, phase 1 and 2. We're just bedding down the last bit of issues that are coming out of phase 2, and then we'll move on to phase 3. We also looking at the return merchandise module within Syspro as well to make it more efficient to return merchandise back into the system. And then the big one for us is the manufacturing operations management. We want to start increasing production. We want to reduce the costs, and we want to increase the factory performance. So we've got a workshop scheduled for mid-October with Syspro. We want to understand the prerequisites before we get into the project. And then we're looking at implementation and a go live by February, March of 2023. So, we went to some of our key stakeholders and we asked them, how do you rate your IT support that you get today, or your IT strategy today from what you're getting from your IT team? And they said, today we are firefighters and we support the business, and it's a reliable infrastructure and IT service desk. So we asked them, where do you see IT? What do you want them to do? How involved you want them to be in your business, etc. Because we're seeing IT evolve. We're seeing IT evolve over the last couple of years. No longer is IT kept in the basement and we push pizzas under the door and we keep them healthy and fed, and they continue working and producing the output that we want. IT is now part of the business. They're starting to understand the business. They understand where they can make a difference in the business. And the business key stakeholders told us that by 2023, 2024, we'd like IT to be a business partner that executes on business projects strategic use of analytics and customer technologies that we can get out to our customer. So we said, what would take us from a firefighter to a business partner? And some of the things that they told us was providing predictable and resilient systems and consolidating some of the island systems that we've got, because there's too many sources of information that we can have. They wanted end-to-end interactions that drive value and satisfaction through responsible automation. The automation needs to have good ROI on it and not just the sake of having automation. We want to foster a culture that succeeds through communication and execution. The continuous improvement and adaptability to changing business needs. I think we spoke about that VUCA world that we live in. We need to be adaptable, we need to change, and we need to move with the times. More importantly was deliver solutions, systems, and data that focus on delivering value that align to business priorities. Sometimes we find IT delivering projects that business never asked for, they never needed. So we try to have strategic sessions with business, and we agree on the priorities and the value that project is going to bring to the business. From a long-term strategy perspective, we've broken down our strategy into 5 areas. Is our delivery excellence to the business, our client experience to our customers, our employee experience to our employees, our operational excellence to our business, and our corporate growth. So you can see there lots of stuff we're working, trying to digitalize the business, and using the electronic PODs, understanding and how do we bring our Salesforce data into the ZAP implementation, and then run this, and understanding the forecasting that we're getting out of our Salesforce. And then together with MOM is that how do we then plan for that extra production that's going to come in, making simplified for our customers with using electronic data interchanges, whereby we don't recapture that, we link straight via API into the customer's systems and surface that data. Workflow and automation is playing a big part, that we want to start getting more workflow into the system, automating some of the processes that are mundane, people don't want to do, etc. A big focus on the operational excellence, the WMS phase 1, 2, and 3. We're almost there with that. And then, Brian Oakos spoke about MRP. Again, he's getting that MRP right, because you need that MRP, right? And then going forward is like in 2024, look at Internet of Things, understanding how much of raw materials in our bulk tanks, integrating that into Syspro, and then placing an order onto our vendors. We already did the transition from Click to Zap. And then obviously the Syspro 8 upgrade is on the cards at the moment that we're busy with as well. And then obviously route planning will also focus, because once we manufacture the product, we have to deliver those products, and sometimes we don't have a full load to go out to the customer, so we might do multiple loads on one load to go out at the end of the day. And then, it's important that when we look at a strategy like what I've shown you now, is that we've got a good relationship with our vendor, and our vendor is able to unlock that value for us to move our relationship forward. We see Syspro today as a strategic vendor rather than operational vendors. So how we break and categorize our vendors is that operational vendor, I can get that vendor off the street tomorrow, and I can buy a PC off them. A strategic vendor is that they're in our business. We understand where they're going to. They understand where we're going to. And that's how we build a relationship going forward. Brandon and I our communication is open and transparent. He knows at any point in time, when can we do work, when can't we do work. And the value optimization is understanding the product and the functionality that it can give us, and then leveraging of the investment. I think our board is tired of it saying that we need to start leveraging of our investments, because we are a bit slack on that. And the patients, I think we all touch about it. The world is in a different space than what we are used to. It's a lot of moving pieces. There's, in our business especially, the price of base oils, crude oil is just fluctuating up. Today it's a different price, tomorrow it's different prices. So so the business keeps on changing their priorities, basically because they've got other projects they need to fulfill. And I think, Syspro comes well with that, is that they don't try to push product onto us. They understand our business, and they'll only sell us what we require to invest in. And I think the other thing is the trust that's built between Syspro and AG Lubricants is of value, You know, Brandon and I trust each other that if we say we'll get it done by X date and X time, and we'll get that done.